Oh, we've started with a great run. Have we got sound now? Let's go. Let's just get the comments up. Let's see if we've got a few comments with the sound coming on. Yes, might have not pressed unmute, so it's all good. So yes, big show tonight. We're talking to Lowrance Pro and tournament director Steve Galvin about a whole heap of different topics. So really looking forward to that. Don't forget to help my channel out by sharing this around, get it out there so we can get going. Postcode prizes are, pretty good. We've got, as I was saying before you could hear me, we've got a Shimano wax wing there. We've got some hard bodies. We've got some Mollick shads for the cod guys. So a bit of a mix. All you got to do is put your postcode in to go in the draw. Harry draws that at random. So it looks like we're all good. We have had some entries into the Duff Rod competition as well. So Duff Rod's kindly donating a $500 custom fishing rod to the channel to give away, and that will be given away in 8 weeks' time. So don't forget to get your entries in. It's quite simple. Like Duff Rod's Facebook page, like Corey's Damn Fishing Facebook page, share the original post, tag 2 friends, and then put your entry video in. Send them in to me. So the entry video doesn't have to be great, but get them in. So we're looking forward to getting some more, but I have got one to show later on tonight. Look, yes, we've got, g'day, Rebecca. We've got a heap to cover tonight, and we're trying to keep the show to under an hour because everyone wants to go to bed. But, yeah, if you can, share the channel out to as many avenues as you can to get it out there. So the more people we get out to, obviously the more sponsorship I can get, the more prizes I can give away. But at the moment, as I said, we've got the postcode prize. We've got a Harry's wheel tonight as well, and we've got the Duff rod. It's a custom-built $500 rod. So plenty to talk about tonight. But we must get him on. And this guy, look, I'll tell you, he loves to chat and loves to answer questions. So make sure you get your questions in tonight as well. We will be picking one of the questions we'll go on to, or the best question we think from the night, we'll go on to spin Harry's wheel. You have to be on the show when when we call Harry's wheel and we call your name. Otherwise, I will call out somebody else. So, yes, let's go. Let's bring the man on. He does love to have a chat. G'day, Steve. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thanks for giving your time up tonight. I know you're quite a busy man at the moment. You're all over the shop going everywhere and doing everything. You've got your finger in many pies, but we can see on your shirt there right in front of you. I suppose most people know you from your original state in Tech Angler. So, you do sounder tuitions and sounder lessons through Tech Angler. Tell us a little bit about Tech Angler, mate.
Yeah, no, we go out on people's boats and teach them how to use their Lowrance or Simra products and show them how to get the best out of them. So it's been we're doing for the last 3 years, and we travel around Victoria and New South Wales, and get to go fish a lot of different lakes and meet a lot of great people. So it's good.
Yep, and you do that through, obviously, the Tech Angler brand. It's quite a well-known brand now, but you have a website, Facebook page, Instagram. Tell us all your channels so people can jump in and have a look at what you do.
Yeah, we've got a website, techangler.com.au. We're on Facebook and as well Instagram, and also YouTube.
And YouTube. So if you want to see some tips, Steve puts tips out on YouTube as well, but well worth. He's taught me a few things over the time. I'm not that tech savvy, and I tend to break things, and the first phone call is always to Steve. He seems to be better than the Lowrance techs to get some of this stuff fixed. So I can remember one of the first times I ever met Steve, I said, I can't get my Ethernet to work properly. And he just looked at it straight away and he goes, you got it in the wrong port, dickhead. So, that's how quickly you can pick up the mistakes that us novices, it's just the way that goes. But we're not here just to talk about Tech Angler. We've got, obviously, you're in the know with Lowrance, and Lowrance has come to the party. We've had sort of the other brands dominating the market. Lowrance has dominated the market for years, and then they sort of fell in a hole over the last 12 months. We've had the Garmin pros on and talked to them about their product. But Lowrance has really come to the fore in the last 2 years. The release of the Ghost has been a big thing. And then, of course, the active, I've got to get this right so I don't say it wrong, the Active Target, now going great guns. You've been doing some tuitions and stuff, and you've been out on the water with Active Target, and you're sort of telling me that it's a pretty good kit. What can you tell us about the Active Target, mate?
Yeah, no, it's been, we spent a few days at Blue Rock last week chasing bass with it, and yeah, no, it's great. It's I was a fan of Lowrance's live site, but this is next level. It's it's very similar to the Garmin, and it's crystal clear. It's been a great tool already. So I'm looking forward to using it at Glenbourne and Windermere over the next week. So I should get some more footage over the next week or so. So no, it's going to change the way we fish.
It does, and that's what I like about it. And I talked to the guys from Garmin. You know, I'm really good friends with Matty and the Skiers boys and that, and they've been using the Garmin version of this for a long time. But it definitely has changed some attitudes within the sport, and this whole live scenario has changed some really old wives' tales, you would call them now, on what fish actually do and where they go. I was watching your video that you put up, must have been on Facebook, the Blue Rock one, and what amazed me was how quickly that bass come off the bottom of the water and moved up about 10 feet as the lure was dropping. Yes, it doesn't make them bite, but to see that from 10 feet away, they're sensing something somehow, whether it's their lateral line or they've got sight that we don't know about. But the amount of times that I would cast normally on a weekend, you might let 10,000 casts go and think it hasn't gone past a fish. But with live sight, you're seeing fish react live.
Oh, it makes it more efficient because you can see their reaction to your lure or your retrieve and that, and you can see where they're not interested in taking a bite, so you just move on to the next school and the next lot of fish to target. So you really do see your retrieve and see your action that you're actually using on a rod tip to put onto the lure, and seeing how little movement makes a big movement on the other end of your line, and for your chatterbaits and your bass jigs and that. So you learn a lot just watching your retrieves, and it really does improve your fishing. You learn about the fish habits, and it makes it more efficient. You just sort of move on rather than wasting 15, 20 minutes trying to get a bite from a fish.
Yeah, and we've picked on the guys a lot, and we've called them pole dancers, and we've done a lot of stuff with hanging shit on people that have been using it. But it does, as long as you're not PlayStation fishing and your eyes are just glued to the screen, concentrating on the screen 100% of the time, you still have to fish with instinct. And everyone said that. The skeezy boys and langers and everyone else still use instinct. They've still got to read the weather patterns. They've got to read the cloud cover. They've got to read the wind. They've got to be on the right bank at the right time. Everything still needs – you can't just concentrate on that screen, can you?
Oh, you got to use your knowledge, and you got to be in the right spot to find the fish with the live side as well. So it's a great tool, but it is only another tool in your club bag. So you got to use all your experience and other weather conditions and all that sort of stuff. And it's not suitable for all conditions, but it's definitely a great tool to have in the kit. Yep,
for sure. And each thing's got its own little benefit. There's a question I fish on. I probably won't bring the question up, but it's a valid point. I mean, you can compare Lowrance, Garmin, and Hummingbird up, and you can say this one's got that or that. We're not here to slag off other products, but I suppose in general, everyone's got their own little niche. I still look at the other products and go, oh wow, look at that. That's really cool and whatnot. It's not a bashing scenario of bashing another product, but what is it that makes that picture so clear on the Lowrance? Is it the new units themselves? Because I'm loving the new HDS Live unit. I've run carbons for a few years now, and even the picture quality on the unit is a lot better than the carbon. But what makes it stand out?
I've only used it for the last week or so. So I just find it really clear that Lowrance have reduced their angle that they used to have with the live side. So they've brought it to 18 degrees, with it slightly narrower than the Garmin 20 degrees. So you haven't got a bigger target area. So just the narrower beam you get that little bit extra detail and a little bit clearer image. But all the brands are good, and it's just going. As anglers, we're just going. It's a fairly competitive market at the moment, so we're the ones that are going to reap the benefits in the future. So.
Oh, for sure. And as I said, to be able to, I'm looking forward. You know, I've ordered mine. I haven't been able to, I suppose, afford it up until now. And at the start of the year, I'm thinking if I don't get something, I'm going to be left behind in the tournament scene. So I'm, you know, I always say buy what you can afford. It's at a stage now where I've been able to scrape the money up, get the active target, and once it turns up. What I'm really looking forward to is not actually, you know, so much being able to move it around and see, but to be able to scan forward of the boat is going to be just a game changer for me alone. Not that it's live, but with side scan and down scan and traditional sonars and all that, it was always, you know, you fish forward of the boat all of the time. So what you're seeing on the traditional setup is what's directly underneath. Your side scan is out to the side, generally off the back of the boat. I know some people run the side scan up the front, but you're already gone past that water. So I'm really looking forward to being able to see what's in front of me before I get to it. I think that's also going to be a game changer as well.
Oh, it was great at Blue Rock last week. We were casting hard bodies and being able to see fish come off snags or off the bottom and come flying up towards your hard body mid-water. And it was just great to see. And that's shooting forward in the forward view. So it's great. And being able to see your swim baits and seeing fish follow your swim baits and that sort of stuff, and it's going to be great. Probably get more frustrating sometimes, but it's amazing to see how many fish are forward and are following your lures or reacting to your lures.
Yeah. Even in the early days with the Garmin stuff, I think they called it Panoptics in the early days. I was lucky enough to get on the boat with Matty, and we were watching fish from sort of in really muddy, dirty water chase a plastic from over 20 feet away. You know, it's amazing sort of to change your mind. But you said the point earlier on too, when you're fishing and we think that we're just moving the rod tip just a little bit and wiggling it on the bottom, when you see it lifting a meter off the bottom, you're like, hang on a minute, I'm doing this all wrong.
Yeah, no, you can see it. And as the skis boys said one time, that they just found that if you did your pauses on your lures, it scares a lot of the cod in that. So being able to see that, it's a great tool. So you see what you're doing, so you can improve and make your retrieve and more efficient and more effective.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's all been what we think. You know, we've never had proof. This is, I suppose, proof where you're casting out and you're going, yeah, that's a you know, a 30 or 40 meter cast, but you know, it might only be 20 meters and it's dropping, you know, down to 10 meters in front of you. You're only hopping it for a couple of meters and then you're bringing it back up. So to be able to see all of that and putting that all together into a package will make you a better fisherman for sure.
No, definitely.
Yep. All right, so we'll wait for some questions to come in about the live. Fishon says here, so what's he got here? I'll bring this up on the screen. He said, I run Lowrance on both my boats and I'm happy and are looking at going live. So I suppose the obvious question there, mate, is, you know, what units you're running, because live or the active target will only work with carbon and HDS live units, won't it? It won't work with HDS 3s.
No, it won't work with Gen 3s, but it also works with the Elite FS.
So the new Elites.
Yeah, so they've got because it runs on an Ethernet port. So the Elite TIs and Elite TI2s never had an Ethernet port, but the new Elite FS has got an Ethernet port. So that's what it runs from your module box to an Ethernet. So you can run it on the Elite FS. So it makes it affordable as well. So that's one good thing that Lowrance has done. They've made it affordable. And these new Elite FSs, they're absolutely fantastic units for the price.
Yeah, so you got a little FS to go on your kayak, didn't you?
Yeah, no, it's great. It's very impressive. So I previously had Elite TI2 on it with a 3-in-1 active imaging.
Yep.
And I got an Elite FS, a 9-inch version, and just the upgrade of the screen and the processor a lot faster, a lot more reactive, but it's also got the improved screen quality, so you're not getting affected by the sunlight, which you did get affected by the Elite TI2. So It's more like a carbon screen and like the HDS lives. Just you can see them not affected by the sunlight as much.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And once again, in a price range that is affordable. We always say one of my mottos on my channels and all of what I do is buy what you can afford. So now you can go out, you can buy an Elite FS unit, which is a cheaper unit, but still run the active target on that unit and not have to upgrade to a HDS Live, so
yeah, they retail for the 9-inch version. They retail for $18.99, but you've seen them at BCF at the moment for $16.99. So it's quite affordable. So for under 4K, you sort of can get a 9-inch sounder as well as your active target and join the live fishing.
Yep, for sure. All right, another question here. We're still on the rants before we cross over to tournaments. We've got Stefan has asked, can the active target transducer be mounted on the electric? Well, we had a discussion about this a little bit earlier, just before the show, before we come on live. You give us the ins and outs of mounting the transducer on the electric.
It's actually designed to be mounted on the shaft of a electric engine, but in the way we use them, and I prefer running on a pole, independent pole. Just say if I'm on spot lock, I can actually rotate the pole and move the pole in the direction I want to target. I just find that a lot easier rather than if you're on spot lock in the wind, where most of the time we're fishing out in the wind. If you're on the shaft, it's hard to keep the target where you want to have your active target beam targeted. So when it's sort of correcting on spot lock. So
yeah.
I recommend a pole, but I even without a pole, it's you see it in America that most of them are running on the shafts of the Ghost and the Minn Kotas and that. But I sort of most of us over in Australia we run on a pole, and it's sort of when you're fishing lakes and that, it's just easy on the pole. You can actually be in control where the beam is and set up and target certain structures that way.
Yep. Look, I've tossed up a million different ideas, and my theories behind this is, yes, the pole you can keep in that direction, as you said, when your spot lock's moving you around or whatnot. But I was talking to some people about even power poles or that sort of scenario for that shallow water where you can leave it on the electric and point it around. So there's a million different theories behind it. I would be skeptical whether it would last with some of the stuff that we fish at Mulwala.
Yeah, it's another thing I'll break at Mulwala. So having on the pole, if I'm fishing the shallows, I don't have to have my pole in with the transducer. Yeah. So on the shaft, it's on there. It's just another thing I'm going to break. So
for sure. And I suppose the only other tip with the active target is to have an independent off switch if you're running it like that. So when you're pulling it out of the water, you can turn the black box off. That's correct, isn't it?
Yeah, I've got mine hardwired to a switch, so I can turn all power off to it.
Yeah, for sure. There you go. Dave reckons Garbo saved me 14K after one day at Blue Rock. So there you go. It must have been a good day. He's keeping the Lawrences on the boat by the sounds of that.
Yeah, no, we told him to come out in the boat before he decided to buy every other brand, and we showed him active target at Blue Rock, and he was quite impressed.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so listen, we're hit the 20-minute mark. I'm going to, my voice gets pretty sore by this time. I'm just going to, we want to talk Teams Fishing Australia because over the last few years, you've grown what is just started off as an idea into this, massive juggernaut that just seems to be jumping up in leaps and bounds and keeps going forward. You started off with the Native Classic at Mulwala 2 or 3 years ago, was it now? Because COVID stuffed me up, was it?
Yeah, this will be the third year. So we had 2019, and in 2020 was looking really big, but we had to cancel it. Well, we postponed it first and then had to cancel it due to COVID. So
yeah, for sure. So that's going ahead again this year. We've got that in 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, end of April, the first week, 29th of April to the 2nd of May.
Yep, and then you've introduced a yellow belly round and a bass round. We're going to talk about them. I've just done a little video up here, if I can get this to work, and then everyone that wants to look at the website, it's teamsfishingasaustralia.com.au. So I'll just bring this video up. I'll play this. We'll hide out in the background, and it only goes for about 30 seconds. I actually have no idea whether that played or not, because it all played. So basically, that was just a quick rundown. I've grabbed some screenshots off your website. So I'm excited about these, as a lot of pro anglers in Australia are. Don't forget to keep your questions coming. But a lot of people in Australia are. Finally, we've got some big cash out there to go and try and win. Now, cash has been a very hard thing to come up with as a tournament director. I mean, you get sponsored some gear and whatnot, and that's all great. But, having big cash prizes just hasn't happened in Australia. And you're throwing big cash at people. You've got tell us the prize pool at Mulwala at the end of April.
So currently we've got 55 teams. So based on 60 teams, we'll have a prize pool of $84,000. So first prize will be $30,000. Second prize will be $15,000, and third prize will be $10,000. And then we'll pay down. Just continue 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 10th place will be $1,000.
Yep. So at Mulwala, one of the cool things is that you're allowing 3 in the boat. So when you've got a $1,500 entry, it's really only $500 each, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 3-day event too. So it's a multi-species event. So over the 3 days, it's your 5 best Murray cod as a team and your 5 best golden perch as a team combined. So it's a bit of tactics will come into it, how much time you spend on each species. And last time it was quite successful, and it was quite interesting seeing people actually talk about what they're going to do and the targets, the species, and that. So it was good. Yeah,
no, and definitely, I think that'll obviously, we've got 6 spots still left to fill. So if you're thinking about it, make sure you get in, because there's only a few weeks left, and 6 spots is, we should fill them reasonably quickly. But being able to team up with a yellow belly guy and a cod guy and whatnot, we're for my team, I've got Langers coming down from Queensland. He's a bit of a gun on anything. I'm pretty good on the cod, and Benny Farrow's an absolute legend on the yellers. So for us to team up together, we've got some really good knowledge in the boat. So if you're out there thinking about joining up, and there's plenty of guys out there that can chase individual species that might be able to benefit your team. I'd be getting a team in of cross-species fishermen. That's you've had cases in the last few years where the cod guys have gone out and brained them on the cod but struggled on the yellers, and vice versa. It's about catching your 10 best fish, isn't it?
Yeah, no, it is. So last time the team leading, they were the only ones that caught yellow belly, because it was a pretty cold front come through, and they sort of regretted the second day not going to chase yellow belly. So we decided to make it a 3-day rather than a 2-day event, just so you got more time to try and get the bigger quality, because with 60 teams, there's going to be some decent sized bags, I reckon, to try to win the event. So it'll be interesting to see what the results will be.
Yes, no, I'm really looking forward to it. So that's if we get the 60 teams, which I believe we will, the first place is going to be around that 30 grand mark.
That's correct. If we get the 60 teams, it'll be 30 grand. So we're at 55 teams at the moment. So we're sitting over the 20 first prize at the moment. We're sitting on over 25K.
Yep.
First prize.
But not only that, you've Lawrence is on. Is this not Lawrence? This is Boats and More. Boats and More are the major sponsor of this one.
Yeah, so Boats and More Native Classic.
Yep.
But Lawrence, for all three events this year, we've got a HCS Live 12-inch sounder up for grabs at each event, and that's just a random draw. So you don't have to buy a ticket. Your entry gets you in there, and we'll do a random draw on the Saturday night, and someone will win a $4,500 sounder.
Yeah, for sure. So you've got that. Then you've got a blades and tails rods.
Wilson's donated a $500 combo for the biggest Murray cod each day. So it's a blade and tails rod and a ATC reel.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good. And we've got tonic sunglasses for the biggest yeller each day, and we've got random draws. We've got the nearest to the pin from Cod Dog Lures, and we've got some other great random draws and some good raffle prizes as well.
Yep. So there's still massive value prizes in the background that even if you weren't lucky enough to make that top echelon, you could still walk away with a $5,000 sounder.
Yeah, no, it's good. But you also learn. You're fishing with some of the best anglers in Australia are coming there just for the. So you're going to learn and be able to speak to them and network. And we've found that a lot of the bass guys are coming down chasing cod for the first time, and that's exciting. And then hopefully some of the cod guys will go chase the yellers at Windermere and go chase bass for the first time at Glenbourne and that. So it should be good just to grow the sport, and the more people coming down, it's good for the towns and also good for fishing in general.
Yep, 100%. So I'm just looking in the questions. Make sure you keep your questions coming in, guys. We've got some random questions. I think Ben's asked this one of me, so I'll bring this up. Hey, Cap, what technique did you think the winner at the Casters Comp at Epilogue used? I'm pretty sure most guys were using little TN50s in the darker colours early in the day. I know there was a couple caught on plastics, but most of them were lipless crankbaits from what I heard. But I'll track that down and try and get that information to you, Ben. That's a great question. Bo's got one here for both of us. You've seen a lot of new anglers in the sport. Is there someone new that has surprised you and think you really got it? Mate, that's a great question, Bo. Me personally, there is a lot of new guys in the sport that are doing really, really good things, and there's a lot of younger guys out there that potentially could be doing a lot of things, but they lack in confidence. So I'm not going to name any that I can think straight off the top of my head, but if you think cod stuff, there's a lot of younger guys out there that are doing great stuff. In the yellow belly and bass scene, there are some up and comers as well. The unfortunate part about the fishing industry in Australia is we have no leader divisions like they do in the States with your juniors. You go and play AFL or NRL or soccer or basketball or whatever it is, and you get to play juniors all the way through. There is no sort of junior level in fishing. You're either in the shits and giggles comps or you're thrown in the deep end on the back of a boat at an ABT. So it's a pretty hard way to learn, but there's plenty of guys out there that are going to be the next big thing, I can tell you for sure. And I think we'll find them on this channel, because I'll give myself the shameless plug right now, is halfway through the year we are going to revamp the Alacroft Brand Ambassadors program that we did last year that Bill Latimer won. He got the boat. Well, we're going to do a junior one as well this year and a female one. So looking forward to seeing the entries on that. So if there's any kids out there watching and want to get into the sport, that's probably a great opportunity. Have you got anyone that stands out to you off the top of your head, mate?
No, there's a fair few. It's good with YouTube that you're seeing more fishing and that. So it's interesting to see. There's a couple of local blokes at Moyle that are going pretty good, but it's interesting to see. So
yep, for sure. For sure, we've got young Nick. We both know Nick. Nick's got a question here. Obviously, he asks all the questions each week. So in the future, are you looking to grow these events with new species or locations?
Yeah, we do have plans. We've spoken to a few plans, but we just want to get this year first, and hopefully the COVID will go away so we can actually get the 3 events done this year. So Glenbourne was supposed to be this weekend, but we made the early call in early January to postpone it to October. So it's probably a better thing. But hopefully we'll just get the 3 events done and then plan for next year.
Yeah, for sure. And I agree with that totally. I mean, anyone that is a tournament director has to have very thick skin, and there's a lot of shit flowing behind the scenes, and crap goes everywhere, and you're putting your own time up. None of the tournament directors out there are making $1 million like a lot of people think. It's tough work. You're working for the love of it, and you're getting this stuff out there. So, for people to say, oh, let's go hold one in Queensland, or let's go do one here, or let's go and do one there. It's got to do with actual time. A lot of the time is you're running 3 events, and that's you've got to work your own job as well, do your sound tuitions, and run these comps as well. So it's a slow process. It'll happen eventually when you get set up, but until then, that first 5 to 6 years is going to be pretty tough work for you.
The key is making sure these other events, like the Murray Cod one at Moala, that's our premier event. That's been supported. But Glenbourne and the Windermere event, they're new concepts to us. And if those events get supported, we'll continue to make them grow and become better and better. And then we'll look at expanding. We'll look at possibly do a Brim event and maybe a Lake Eildon event next year. So we've just got to make sure these 3 events get supported, get our sponsors the exposure they deserve with supporting us, and hopefully we just go bigger and better in 22.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been a pain in the ass with COVID and everything else has sort of knocked us around and knocked everyone around. But you've been in the front, as you said. In January, you made the call to move Glenbourne to later in the year. So that's it doesn't really matter when it is. We as anglers, we need to support all of these competitions as they go forward. It doesn't matter what it is, just support it, because without these guys, we don't have tournament fishing, and without tournament fishing, I'd be struggling with a bit of black dog, I reckon. So, I need me tournament fishing. It's my outlet. It's my love. So I'm a big advocate to try and support everyone within the tournament scene. I don't matter who it is, as long as you support them, because they're putting in the hard yards. So definitely. Let's go through. Anyone going to the horse and fishing comp this weekend? I don't know. Let's see what happens. So, hey, listen, postcodes are done. So Harry's giving me the postcode winner. So let's find out who the postcode winner is at the moment. Oh, look at that. So this will prove you how random. Harry doesn't know who anyone is on my page. He just gets in there. You see him in the comments talking. He spins the wheels. He has a fun time, and he just randomly picks names out of the list. And this week's postcode winner is Dave Lawson. So, Dave, if you can get a hold of me on my Facebook page, you're the winner of the postcode prize, mate. So well done to you. And I can tell you those wax wings do work on the bass. So they don't make them anymore apparently, but I've got a few hidden in the bottom of the tackle box. So well done, Dave. Thanks for that, Harry. That's awesome. So I'll just write this on here. My pen stopped working. So I know, because at the end of the show I always forget. Tell us a little bit. So you've gone. Let's go on to Nick's a little bit more. So you've gone from the Moala Classic, which was set up as a 2-species event. Now you've thrown in Glenbourne to track down the bass, because everyone loves bass. So you've got the Glenbourne as well. But then you've gone to my favourite spot in the world to catch yellowbelly. You've chosen Windermere in spring. If anyone has not been to Windermere in spring, it's worth paying your money just to enter Windermere, to go to Windermere in spring. Make it an excuse to get there. This place is off tap. It's just a gem of a place. It's a brilliant dam, but there's massive yellowbelly, and lots of them caught at competition time, which is always around spring in Windermere, isn't there?
Yeah, we're based early September, so speaking to a few locals, it gets pretty busy fishing around October. So we went early September, and apparently that's when a lot of the big girls are out, and it can be an edge bite and a deep bite. So it's a good mix, and we usually get the bigger bags. Less fish, but you usually get the bigger bags. So
it is an insane place for people that fish for yellow belly regularly. When I talked to a lot of people and they were telling me about Windermere and they were saying, oh, you've got to get the Windermere. Yeah, I've caught big yellows, rah, 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 I've caught them. And coming from Queensland, I thought they were big up there. But it wasn't until our first trip to Windermere, and I think the top 10 all averaged over 550 for their 10 best fish.
Yeah, you're pretty much close. A lot of the comps you see that they're getting close to the average of 10 fish is 59 to 67 meters. It's like a decent fish, and it's a pretty close event. So a lot of the top teams usually get the high 50s to just under 60s in average. So it's a pretty special lake.
That's a special lake when you really think about it. A lot of people, trophy yellow belly is a 55. And you're talking about 10 fish over 55 to win a comp. That's just big fish, isn't it?
No, it's solid fish, and they're fat. There's so much feed and the weed, and it's it depends what sort of winter we get. It's you're fishing there, it can be crystal clear.
Yeah.
And seeing the large yellow belly follow your lure on a regular basis, it's quite impressive, and you do learn. And I do a lot of sound intuitions there, and I've learned so much, changing my techniques and slowing it. I always thought I'd fish slow, but slowing everything down even further, and brought it down to Eildon, and we've done well using those techniques. Taught from clients up at Windermere, so it's a special one.
I think we do fish too fast for Goldens, and you'll learn that if you get to dams like Windermere. At some stages, we were using a 20-second pause on a hop with a ZX, and at about the 17-second mark is when the yellow picked it up off the bottom. It was just crazy. Yeah,
no, it's a great lake, especially when it's clear. Like, it's just amazing. The clarity you can get, and you're seeing the weed and seeing the large yellows and the large catfish follow your lures up. It's pretty cool.
Yep, for sure. Good question from Rebecca. He, as an angler who has never caught a yellow belly, could you give any tips or favourite lures or techniques that stand out for you? I'll let you go first, Steve. I know mine.
My favourite lure of the last few years has been a Zurich fish trap, the 95 mil. So, or your Jackal T in the 60s. So, I've sort of found that fishing busy lakes, I've sort of gone a silent approach rather than using the noisy jackals. So,
yep.
Or your ZX 40. So they're probably the main three lures I run these days, or your black gulps when you gulp on the trees. But I much prefer using the lures.
Yeah, and that's no secret, Rebecca. That's pretty much exactly what I would have said. If I go to Windermere, it's a ZX tied on, it's a fish trap tied on, it's and a gulp tied on, ready to go. And if you need a smaller profile, you go maybe down to a Mars 5 or something like that. So, it's crazy. Greg Beatty's on there. Yeah, Windy is the number one yellow fishery in the country by a long shot. I agree with that totally. So, Rebecca, I hope that helped. Those lures will work up in those Queensland dams. It's what I used to use at Boondooma and BP to catch golden. So, that doesn't change from state to state. I think it's all pretty much there. So that's a great question. All right. So what am I doing? I'm going to have to do the first entry into the Duff Rod competition, Steve. I'm going to put you in the green room so you can go and have a drink or a whiz or whatever you got to do, and I will bring this video up, and we'll get the first entry into the Duff Rods competition. So just bear with me. I'm going to hide you and find the Duff Rods. Here we go. So as I said, I'm not going to play it right now straight away, but as I said, it's pretty easy to enter. You've got to like my page, like Duff Rod's Facebook page, share the original post, tag 2 friends. Everyone's doing it. It's out there. It's nice and easy. You can find it on Corey's Dam Fishing, the original post. Then all you have to do is do a video and tell me a story about the video. It's not the best video. It could be the story that gets you through. And this week it is the story. So I'm going to play this video and then we'll come back and explain the story to you. All right, we've got a new competition for you all. Steve Duff from Duff Rods has donated the channel a custom built rod. Now, to win this rod, there are some terms and conditions. One, this competition will run for 2 months. You must like Steve Duff and Duff Rods Facebook page. You must like Corey's Dam Fishing, and you must enter a video of your trick cast. And that's how hard it is. So it was Amber. Amber was dobbed in by Nick, who was a guest on the show last year. And Amber and Nick were stranded on the side of the road waiting for their tow truck to turn up. And she'd never cast a bait caster before. So they put the cup out on the side of the road and started practicing. Now, Amber had never thrown a bait caster before, and the people walking out of the service station thought they were all crazy. So there you go, Amber. You're in the draw. You're one of, as I said, we're running it for 8 weeks. So you're one of possibly 8 to win that $500 Duff rod. So that's really awesome. Get your entries in. If you haven't seen one of the ambassadors, Kevin put an entry up on the Chewin the Fat page. We don't run that regularly, but there is an entry up on there that Kevin did up to give you some ideas. So have a look at that one as well. So well done, Amber. You're in the draw for that one. And it can't be any easier to film yourself casting, tell a story, get it in. $500 fishing rod. It is just insane. So once again, the girls are just jumping all over this. All right, what else have we got to cover here? So we've got that's done. Let's bring back. Make sure I press unmute. Bring back Galvo. So Galvo, mate, we've sort of covered a little bit on Windermere, and we've covered a little bit more on my whaler, but now we've got to talk about the big one, apparently, because everyone's into bass. It's bass this, bass that. You know my theory on this: I'll fish anything. But we've got the bass round has been moved due to COVID. You've moved it to October. It's going to be an insane time of the year to have it. What is it? Middle of October, from memory.
The weekend after long New South Wales Labor Day weekend.
Yep. So it won't be in a transitional period. It'll actually be in a bite period. The bite period might be deep, might be shallow, but it's not going to be in a changeover. Glenbourne can have 3 or 4 different transitional periods in the year where it can be really, really tough. I'm thinking this Glenbourne comp at that point of the year is just going to be nuts.
Hopefully it fishes well as it did this October. So it should fish really good. October generally fishes really well there. So.
Yep, 100%. So once again, big entries, big payout. So for Windermere and Glenbourne for the yellow belly or the golden perch and the bass rounds, it's 2 people in the boat for those.
Yeah, $1,100 entry per team.
Yep, and it's 2 boats.
Teams of 2. We pay out 90% of our entry. Back in prizes, and based on 60 teams, first prize is $20,000.
Yeah, so for sure. So once again, you go in with a mate, you pay your money, and you just win it. You'll be walking away with 10 cold hard smackers in your pocket.
Yeah, and it's a maximum of 60 teams. So
yeah, so you've been able to secure some sponsors for each individual round. So I need to try and do my part to make sure that I'm helping everyone out. So Boat Support, Native Classic at Mulwala. Windermere
is the Wilson Native Classic.
Wilson Native, I should know that. Jesus, I'm going to get shot for that one. And at the end,
the Lawrence Native Classic at Glenbourne.
Yeah. So we've got
Lance Wilson that support all three events. So they're a great support, which makes running these events possible. So.
Yeah. Did you want to give anyone else that's doing a bit of a shout out at this point in time that's helping you out throughout these comps, mate?
Oh, we've got a lot of great sponsors. So Nauticalist Marine Insurance has come on board for donating vouchers for each event. Tonic Sunglasses, Doug's always comes on to the party. He's got a heap of sunglasses to give out throughout the events. And Wilson Fishing, Lawrence, Bothmore, Cod Dog Lures, the Complete Angler Bathurst has just come on board as a sponsor the Windermere round.
I've seen that.
Rick Doyle's come on board. He's helped us out with helping us out some of our costs of our brag mats and that. So he's a very generous helper, which makes these events even easier to throw on. So we've got some other smaller sponsors, but yeah, we're trying to get some locals involved. So we've got the local Aberdeen Tackle. They're involved sponsoring, and we're going to have our briefing night there we've got lots to get locals involved as well. So
yeah, for sure. So once again, if anyone wants to get a hold of you or get a hold of put an entry in, it is on Facebook it's on your website. The entry forms are on your website, which is teensfishingaustralia.com.au.
Yep, so you got all the rules, entry forms for each event. And we'll also have competitor lists on each event.
Yep.
On our website, teensfishingaustralia.com.au.
Yep, and I'll make myself available if anyone's got any questions or whatnot, because it can be scary if it is your first event and you don't know what to do or you don't know where to go. So I'm happy to answer all of those questions. That's what we're here for tonight. But later on, if you come up with a question or you're too embarrassed to put it in the comments and you want to just ask a question, feel free to flick it through to me. But it is a great way. You get to jump in with a mate, maybe win some really good cash. I'm really looking forward to that side of things, to see who walks away with those big monies. 30 grand, 20 grand, it's not small money. That's life-changing money for a lot of people.
No, I can't wait to hand those size checks over. So it's going to be good, and it helps out the pro anglers when it pays for the next season or two of fishing. So
yep,
it's good. So we're paying 90% back, so it's been a really popular thing too. So we're about giving back, and so it's been good. So, and that's not possible without sponsor support. So we're lucky enough to have some great sponsors.
Yeah, no, and that's it. And it's what you put out is what you get back, and you've been putting it all out. So people are, jump on board, get on board and support it. I'm going to have to call Harry out at this point in time. He's inside watching at the moment because we're going to have to do the wheel very soon. So I just want to give Harry a quick shout out to come out and get at his wheel. So it'll be your last chance to get a question in to get to spin the wheel. And I'm just going back through them while we're talking. Yes, not long until Go Fish Ngambia. I'm looking forward to that one as well. That's going to be so much fun. I'm actually fishing that this year with Harry and my brother and his crew. So looking forward to going down and really sinking a few frothies and chase that $80,000 cod. For anyone that hasn't heard about Go Fish, it's going ahead. So jump on their website. Let's go back through these questions and see the best question for the night. While I'm waiting on Harry coming out. A lot of questions early on in the night telling me that I had no sound. We're working on that. Hey, Luke, that's all right. Harry loves giving the prizes away, so that's really cool. The rest of the crew's on there. Jamie Beer. He reckons you should dim the light up above your head. Nick Brown. Look, Harry's almost ready, so I've just got to pick a question. I think it's going to be Bo. Yep, Bo Everly. So Bo, you have 2 minutes to answer and get on and tell me you're online at the moment. If you are online at the moment and say, yep, Harry's going to spin the wheel for you. So How much wood can a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? That probably would have won if you were earlier, Greg. So that's pretty good. We're just waiting. Give Bo the 2 minutes. So anything else you think we should have covered tonight or could have covered tonight?
I think you covered everything, mate.
Covered everything. All right. Well, while we're waiting for Bo to get on there and say that he's here, I've just got a little Lawrence video that I edited up off some of the footage that you sent through. It only goes for about 30 seconds, but this will show you. I'm always here, spin the wheel. All right, so Bo's there. I'm just going to bring this video up. I'm going to play it. Then I'm going to cross to Harry, and then we'll come back and have a chat to you, mate. So I'm just going to put you in the green room. I'll be back in a minute. All right, so I just got to play this last video here. And this will just give you an idea of what's happening with Steve and his sound intuitions. He sent these images through, so I'll just play these for you. There we go. Hopefully the volume is back up and working. I don't know what's happening with I hope that video played all right. Give us a thumbs up if that video played all right. So here the skis, boys. Low scope will be big. Look, I'll answer that question after I've gone to Harry's wheel. So let's go and check in with the boy and see what he's doing. So. Are you there, Harry?
I think.
Oh, there he is. How you going, mate?
Good.
You're good. All right. So Bo Everly is the winner of the wheel prize today. So do you think we should spin the wheel for Bo?
Yeah, I think we should give it a spin. And we got Tech Angler. Just 1 sec.
That's all right, mate. You've lost the prize, haven't you, for the Tech Angler one?
Yeah.
Yep, no, that's all right. I'll work that out for you in a minute, and we'll get out there. I mightn't have placed it out on the table for you, so that's all good. Quite appropriately, the Tech Angler comes up on the board for tonight. That's really cool.
Coincidence? I think not.
That we got that one up, so that's really cool, mate. Thank you very much, Bo. That I'll get you. I'll tell you what the prize is in a minute when I work out what it was. But There you go. How random's that? We've had Tech Angler on for when they're on. We've had, we were talking about the Central Victorian Lure Casters, and one of theirs has come up. Anyone would think the board is rigged, but I know it's not, mate. I know it's a school night and you've got to go to bed. So thank you very much for all your help on the wheel again. Tonight seemed to go a little bit better than normal.
Do you like my hat?
I do like your hat, mate. I just don't like it. There we go. So Harry got that out of Lost and Found. So if anyone come to the park and lost it, Harry's now claimed it. All right, mate. We shall talk to you later. Thank you very much for your help.
Bye-bye.
All right, there he is, the madman himself. He's done that, and we will no breaking the computer tonight, no breaking anything. That was pretty good. So it's always good when he doesn't break anything. So I'm going to bring Steve back in. We'll finish off. So Bo, I will get you whatever your prize was when I contact you after the show. So I can't remember what Steve donated for that one. Let me just bring Steve back on so we can finish up. How you go, mate?
You're good, mate.
That's quite appropriate that your prize gets spun up on the night you're on the show.
Yeah, no, it was a 2-hour gift voucher, Corey.
That was the one. I knew I hadn't printed something out. So Harry's out there looking around on the table. I've got all the prize all out. So it is a 2-hour voucher for sounder tuition for Bo. So I would suggest that Bo quite often goes and does charters at Glenbourne, loves to get down to Glenbourne. So he should contact you when the next time you're up around that Glenbourne way, wouldn't he?
I'm actually up there this weekend, heading up there on Wednesday. So
yep,
we've got a couple spots left.
So I will talk to you, Bo, but that's awesome. Thank you very much for the donation. You've helped us out heaps because you talked about it before. Ricky Doyle is behind the scenes. He just loves to give, and he gives to a lot of different avenues. He doesn't want any of the credit. He just gives a lot of stuff behind the scenes. But you're pretty much the same, mate. I know you've helped us out with the Bluefin fishing team. You've helped me out on the channel here. You've donated heaps of stuff. So, I can't thank you enough for your support of this channel. We did have a couple of late questions coming in. We're right on the hour, so we'll get these covered off before we go. Shane has written, I see the skiers boys have entered the comp. Do you think live scope will be a big advantage at Mulwala?
Oh, that's a hard one. Depends on the weather. I know some of the local boys using it are going well at night, but our comp's during the day. So it's definitely a handy bit of kit, but it's not the end all. It's, a lot of the meter fish that time of year are caught in the shallows, where live scope and active target is not going to be as effective. So
yeah, might be the guys with the Mega Live 360 stuff going. It might be them that's got the advantage. So
yeah, Hummingbird 360 is a great tool as well. And
yep.
Yeah, it's Mulwala, you can fish the deeper water, you can fish the shallow water. So you don't need it to be competitive.
Yep, that's 100% true. You don't need anything to be competitive in any comp. If you go out and fish with confidence and you're on the right fish at the right time, you can win any comp. You don't actually need live to win. In some cases, it does help though. So yes, let's just see if there's any other late questions other than woodchucks. But there's lots of woodchucks. So that's it for the questions. I think we're just about to wrap it up here, Steve. I will, after the show, I'm not too tech savvy in the sense that I can't write in the comments at the moment here. My keyboard's on the other side of the room, but I'll write the website and everything into the description so people can jump on and look at your websites. And I will get Bo to contact you directly. What's the best one for him to contact you through? Tech Angler?
Yeah, either call me or just a message on the Tech Angler Facebook page.
Yep, no worries. I'll get that done. So Bo said in the comments there that he'll be there next weekend. So if you're there next weekend and he's there, you might be able to do it next weekend. So
definitely.
That'll be really cool. That's a great prize, Bo. I do have to say that, you think you know stuff until you go out with somebody that knows more and then they just teach a heap. So it's well worth it. Get onto Tech Angler. Get onto Teams Fishing Australia. get onto Corey's Dam Fishing, share it around. Don't forget to get your entries in for the Duff Rods competition. I'm not shitting you guys. This is a $500 custom rod. If you want a flathead rod, or you want a bass rod, or you want a cod rod, hey, it can all be arranged. Duffy's the man. He's donated this rod to the channel. We've got to support it. Get on there. Get it out there. So I'm just really can't stress enough that when people sponsor and give this stuff away, we've really got to support it. So get your entry videos in. It's not that hard. And Amber, you're in the draw. So well done to Amber. Galbo, you got anything else you want to cover tonight before we go?
No, mate, that's it, I think.
That's it. Pretty good. Thanks for giving me some time. Next week, I am going to be trying to interview some of the so-called pros before the Glenbourne round and hit them with the hard questions. We're going to do a hard chat with a few of the boys next weekend, get some of the so-called guns on to see how they're going to fire the weekend after at Glenbourne. Then, obviously, I'll be at Glenbourne for the ABT. I'll be able to get some content back there. So there'll be plenty of tournament fishing over the next month. Go fishing to Gambie. We've got Teams Fishing Australia, the Boats and More Native Classic coming up. There's shit happening everywhere. We're really looking forward to it. But thank you for all the work you do behind the scenes, Galvo. It's awesome to get new content and new fishing comps out there. I'm really looking forward to getting into these, and hopefully I can get into the prize money and get Nikki off me back. So looking forward to it. I know it's your anniversary. Happy anniversary to your partner tonight. You've done well coming on. I know you went out for dinner now, but make sure you go inside, pour her a glass of wine or whatever she drinks, and give her a big cuddle from us. All right, mate. Out for now.
Cheers, mate.
Good night, everyone. See you all later.